So guys, I have a big announcement to make. I've been in California for the past 2 weeks and I now have 33 subscribers. So I've really been feeling the clout and the fame, so I'm just going to cut off all of my friends and family.
Boy, if you don't get
I've been moving countless time travel with me.
So on today's episode, I'm going to talk about clout and fame. I personally think Americans are too obsessed with it. So today I have my special guests who are massive fame whores. I've got Sevian and I've got the clout chaser himself, Sachin. Sachin is actually a YouTuber. He's been vlogging for a while, and you've been like linked to several talent agencies.
Yeah, I mean, I've been like vlogging for some time. I've actually been in contact with like a lot of people, like I guess like famous people, like so to speak. What I do personally is like do a lot of acting. And yeah, man, like I've just sort of been around like the entertainment industry for like a couple of years now, so it's been kind of unique. It's been a cool ride. It's because I'm actually a science major, so like going from science to like entertainment, it's been interesting.
And Sevian is actually the brother
Yes.
brother of an artist who is a freshman. We hold her dearly. I actually lipped my first American girl to her song, so he is actually the brother of the singer Halsey.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame.
So how long ago did you get into that?
So she about 4 years ago she put out the song Ghost on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
She put on SoundCloud, went to bed, went about her day, checked it that night, 1.2 million plays, just like
Just
that.
one.
Just 28 hours. It was like. So in the music industry, it usually takes 6 or 7 months once a label finds an artist they like to sign them. Usually takes a little bit of time. Actually signed 10 days later.
Dang.
So immediately, it happened so crazy. She her fans were tweeting the song to Sirius XM. It was all over the radio. She wasn't even signed. She gets signed 10 days later to Capitol Records at the top of the Empire State Building.
So how long did it take her to get like a decent fan base? Was it like?
So I mean, but prior to putting that song out, all she did was just sit on Twitter all day and just talk to fans. And she'd meet up with fans in Boston, in Orlando. She was just going all over. And
See, I like when people do that.
it's so cool.
It's
crazy.
It's so like humanly, you know, like when you're like actually interacting with like fans and stuff like that. Like I like celebrities who do that. That stuff.
And like because of that, like the roots she put in, she has those diehard fans. Like
That's
those
awesome.
screaming, crying, camp out for 3 days for tickets fans. And they've helped her career skyrocket.
That's awesome.
For the viewers who know her, you kind of
Congrats
you
to
can just
that,
see
man.
it.
That's like.
So like, has she changed at all since the also?
It's honestly made her better. She's bipolar, so she deals with that mental illness, and because of the fame, she has a lot of support from fans and other people of the same celebrity, and they can kind of help lift her up in times. But it keeps her grounded, which is, I know it's crazy to think that fame keeps somebody grounded, but it really does. She's super humble, and I mean, she works harder than anybody I've seen in the industry. So it just her talented and filled resume just goes directly off her hard work.
So did people start treating you differently? Like,
so in the beginning of her becoming famous, that's all I wanted to talk about. You know what I mean? Because she wasn't ginormous yet. It wasn't even close to that. But I was like, yeah, my sister's a singer. Like my sister's doing this, and everybody be like, all right.
yeah.
So it went from people being like, all right, like it's all Sevian talks about, to
Everyone.
now I don't talk about it at all. And the reason why I don't is because I'd much rather have somebody know me and then find out than have that be the first thing they know me by.
True.
Exactly.
And like I'm an athlete. I'm an athlete here at CSUN, and I play on the golf team. And I have kids. I've been here for 2 years, and kids I've known for 2 years would be like, "Yo, I had no idea." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I like to keep it a little low key."
Yeah.
Because throughout these years of her doing it, I've seen some people, and I've like trained myself to know how to spot it.
Yeah.
Like I can spot when somebody's like trying to
just really like, cause
to chase the clout.
I feel like it happens in LA a lot. Like people come up to you and they just judge you based on like your social media and what you do, and people will like you better. It's like that in MSU as well.
Yeah.
But people will like you better depending on what you do and what you can offer them, and that actually terrifies me.
It's I mean, it's tough. It's definitely like a hassle, but I deal with it. I'm still super happy. I have no problems. I keep my circle small, so I keep some good friends around. But it's sometimes funny to watch Like back when I have a girlfriend now, but when I was single, I'd go out and I'd talk to a girl, and she wouldn't really give me like the time of day, and then I'd walk away and be all right, and then her friend would be like, yo, dude, that's Halsey's brother. And all of a sudden she comes strutting back over and she's like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, yeah, I don't got time for that.
I'm good.
I don't got time for that, yeah. But having this life and living out here just makes it so much crazier.
Oh, yeah. Actually, so who's the coolest person you've met?
I mean, it's hard to top Drake. Like, especially, I've met a lot of people like, hey, how's it doing? Nice to meet you, and then that's it. But like at Drake, I went to the American Music Awards and I sat next to him all night. We had so many conversations and I had a really, really good time. And then I fast forward 5 months later to Coachella, right? So I'm at Coachella, I'm a freshman in college, I'm with my friends, and I'm like with this girl that I met at Coachella. And Drake's walking by and he stops and he goes, yo, Seb, man, what's up, dude? How you doing?
Oh!
And he daps me up and goes away. And immediately my head went like this. I was
Damn,
like,
right.
I was like, yeah, I'm the fucking man. Yeah,
I'm the guy. Your friends are probably like, oh. That
So-
girl was probably like,
Yeah, that girl was like, oh shit. So he's super cool, super humble. He's also huge. He's a big guy.
really?
Yeah. So I mean, I've met a lot of cool people, and I'm super thankful for the life I live.
In like American culture, there's so much emphasis to be someone. Like even if it's not so much in the media or like just doing something awesome, there's always pressure to have your name attached.
Have you ever heard of the Kevin Bacon game?
No.
Have you ever?
No.
Heard? Okay, so I mean, maybe,
I know Kevin Bacon is,
Maybe
but-
maybe it's just a thing in New Jersey, but there's this game where by naming 2 or 3 people, you can all of a sudden have a connection to Kevin Bacon, right? So it's quick for me. I'm gonna be like, oh, my sister knew this person who worked with Kevin Bacon. Boom, there's Kevin Bacon, right? And then you go, all right, I know Sevi knows his sister knows this person, boom, Kevin Bacon. So it's like in America, everybody knows somebody who's done something.
Yeah.
And I mean, I feel like it's like that across the world, but usually it's like, oh, my friend's veterinarian is a lawyer.
Yeah.
or something
Literally.
like that.
Yeah. It's 100%.
But then you get here and it's like, oh, my cousin's friend is on the same volleyball team as Drake's cousin.
Yeah,
Like,
it's-
so everybody sees it and everybody can kind of get a little taste of it.
Yeah, it's
Because America is the country of participation. You know what I mean? You get an award for showing up.
Yeah, yeah.
And it creates ego.
Yeah.
It does, it
Creates,
does.
and once you have that, it's so crazy. I mean, I go home. I'm from a real small town, New Jersey. If you watch the last video, you know. But I have kids who always try to like have a bro off with me.
Really?
So they'll be like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm wrestling at my school," and I'm like, "All right, sick. Like, we don't have to have a competition."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that as
I
well.
hate
People
that.
are always trying to compete with you
Yeah,
for
yeah.
no reason.
For no reason. Like, if somebody's got it going good, let them have it, and then do your
Exactly.
thing. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the second you feel more accomplished than somebody,
Yeah.
is the second it's gonna come smack you in the face. So you go out, right? Or you meet somebody in class and you swap names, you swap info, and then you follow them on Instagram,
Yeah.
right? So you're talking to a girl you met in class, super nice girl, and you follow on Instagram and she has 100 followers.
Oh man, I'm gonna think she's so much fitter. I'm gonna. Like,
Yeah, right? You're gonna be like, oh, all right. Then you follow her. Same girl, super nice to you. She has 100,000. You're like, immediately something changes in you.
Yeah.
Right? And
Like
and I've watched that unfold with me my entire time out here. It's a lot different out in New Jersey because I mean nobody has like any
Same,
followers.
yeah,
so it's
same
like,
in Europe. Nobody fucking gives a
Yeah.
shit.
Yes.
and so then nobody cares. But out here it's like I talk to somebody and they're not like, hey, what's your number? They're like, hey, what's your Insta? Which is so crazy to me.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
You know what I mean? Like that should not be that way.
True,
Like
true.
I'm interested to see like how clout goes like overseas. Like what's it?
Okay, so in Europe, like, I never ever thought about I didn't care about it. Nobody cares. I knew girls with lots of followers, and it just didn't matter to them. They
Yeah.
didn't care. They weren't really humble. Like, sometimes you get made fun of. You actually get made fun of for sometimes being really popular. I remember in high school, like, the popular kids, the athletes would get made fun of, which sounds weird. So sometimes you kind of get mocked for, like, just banter. It's just
Yeah.
cheeky banter. People will tease you for it, and they don't treat you like God. But when I moved to America, I was just shocked because, like, for example, people judge you like what you do. Are you in a frat? Like, is your frat the best? Like, that type of stuff, like, just people don't care about, and I just find that, like, literally terrifying. So
Agreed. Like, I mean, like, going off of that, I think, I mean, at least in, like, Amsterdam, I mean, I can't like speak for all of Europe. Obviously, I can only speak for the place I lived in.
Yeah.
Clout was never a thing. Like,
Yeah.
I never like no one was more important than like someone else. What you
Yeah,
wore
no,
didn't matter.
yeah.
Like social media, there was like even when I go back to visit, like there's no like I still Skype my friends. Like, you know, it's like the social media wave. I don't think it's like that important in like Europe. I won't say Europe, but like in like at least Amsterdam, the place like I've lived. It definitely never hit like, and which I like find it much better.
It's so relaxing.
It's so much more peaceful because like especially when I meet people, like I don't like. I mean, because they don't have social media half the time. Like I'm talking to them, actually having a human conversation.
Their social media
you know?
just isn't as like
Yeah.
edited. Isn't just like people like would just literally show themselves
Literally.
like absolutely pissed in the club. And
Yeah.
it's kind of refreshing.
It's
like,
kind of like it's so human to like see stuff like that because like I mean I like I don't want to see like someone like trash but like you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
it's way more like genuine to
see
like
a shit.
it keeps you like I think like with like I mean the whole purpose of social media was to connect people, right? But like I think it just made everyone
putting
like
people-
segregated and like I think a lot of that had to do with like social stigma. I mean I could go down the list like tons of things, you know.
It's so before Ash ever got famous. Her real name's Ashley, for people who didn't know. But I
knew that. I was die hard.
I went to 2 different high schools, so I knew a lot of different kids, and I mean, I'm outgoing. I try to be. And immediately when like Instagram was like getting bigger and bigger, I was getting followers and followers and followers. And so I already had like a good amount, and I never thought about it. Then, I mean, immediately when she became famous, and like she posts pictures of me on Christmas or like when we're at an award show or something like that, and I see it increase. And it's never like gotten to my head. I don't think my Instagram profile makes me a better person than anybody else. But the treatment is so different, and I would love to know what it's like to like go overseas, right? So let's say I spent a summer in Spain or in England or in Amsterdam, and to meet people and to swap the info and to see their reactions, because it wouldn't be the same.
No.
Maybe they'd ask why, like, hey, it's because it's a little different.
Yeah.
But here it's like immediately everybody has to like know because it's like different, special.
Yeah, like a different ball.
And it's so crazy.
Hey, so the video actually cut, so I'm just gonna cut it there. I'm gonna edit through all the bollocks we talked about. Do the usual shit. I don't really know how YouTubers close it out. I think they say like, rate, subscribe, and get me to 100 subscribers to inflate my ego.
It's the plan.
And the man them got it cracking again. And the man them got it cracking again. And the man them got it cracking again. And the man them got it cracking again.